Hey, if you're a yoga teacher and you're thinking about how you can share your message online and help other people around the world while still doing what you want to do with your life, this video is for you. Let's dive in. So, my name is Josh, and for those of you who are new to the this channel or Instagram account or whatever account you're seeing this on, I'm an international yoga teacher. My journey started as a yogi, as a yoga practitioner, back in the summer of 2015. I did my first ever yoga class on the very top of this big mountain in British Columbia called Grouse Grind. It's this crazy hike you do going up. Um, so I did my first ever class at the top of that and just got to see the ocean and all the mountains, and there was like 70 people. It was amazing. Never really thought anything about it, and then about 6, 7 months later, I had an opportunity to move to China, and everybody in China was 12 hours ahead. Plus, I was working during the day and I was starting to take these courses. So I didn't have that much time to do things in the day. But I remembered the yoga class and I started doing it every night when I got home from work. I would do this very strong practice on my iPad on the floor. I didn't even have a mat, and just this app, and it wasn't even like full videos, it was like clips. So you would put in like what level you are, and then it would give you a sequence, and then it would stitch together all these different clips instead of having one person do all of them, and then you could give it feedback and it would modify the sequence the next time. It was pretty cool. I definitely think it was ahead of its time and underappreciated. So I started doing that, and I started doing yoga every day. And then I realized, wow, it gave me so much energy, so much mental clarity, and it helped with my alertness as I would stay up all night trying to figure out all the things I needed to do for full blown moving to China when I had never even gone on a vacation outside of Canada. Small trips to the Northeast US, but nothing that was like I needed to plan or really prepare for. And anyways, 45 days later, I had been doing yoga every day, and I attributed um, doing the yoga with the success of making the transition from, working my job and taking some courses and, having an apartment in Toronto and all that to full blown like moving across the world in about 6 weeks. And it was amazing. And then I continued in China for about a year. I saved up and went and did my teacher training in India. It was my first ever like proper vacation where I went somewhere for a long time and didn't work. My money was really good and organized. I got paid from my work while I was on the teacher training. And then I just dove into the yoga like so hard because the philosophy, just peeled away layers of my mind and appealed to all these things that I had questions about. I was leaving Christianity for a little while, a couple of years, and hadn't really quite figured out what I was going to do next. And yoga really opened my eyes to a belief system that is non-monotheistic, and had insights that were well beyond what I had been taught while being raised. And then just all the physical components, all the inner awareness, and then just the high of traveling to India. If you know, you know. Um, and then when I came back to China, I just like basically continued with the yoga and started teaching some classes. And then as I continued traveling around, I was able to get some opportunities to do more yoga. And then eventually, there was a studio in Indonesia that took my passport to do the work visa, and they were like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, bro. We're just gonna hold on to your passport for you. You can always ask for it back anytime you want to leave, and if we approve your vacation, then we'll give it back to you." And I was like, no. Um, that was crazy, and so I learned a lot about Indonesian immigration law and labor laws, and I was just like, dude, this is an archipelago of like 17,000 islands on a fault line, with a bunch of earthquakes, tsunamis, volcano eruptions, prone to monsoons. And you think that I'm gonna travel across the capital city with tens of millions of people to ask for my passport back when there's an incoming tsunami? Nah. Like, and they were like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Nah, I'm worried about it because y'all ain't gonna be doing nothing for me. You're gonna be taking care of yourself." And I don't want to be in that situation. Plus, like, this smells like some human trafficking kind of thing, right? Like, I was like, I ain't about this, you know. And anytime that kind of thing happens, they hold your documents from you, and that's a major thing in Indonesia. So I was like, no. And so I had this big showdown, and then I ended up getting my passport back because I demonstrated that they broke several laws in what they were doing. And most importantly, they didn't sign the agreement with me. Um, so I had signed it and sent it back, and then their HR person sent me the final copy, but they didn't sign it. So I was like, well, I can't have a contract with myself, so there's nothing to enforce here, so I don't have to pay you back thousands of dollars, and I want my passport back, and I'm out of here. Then I got a job at a yoga school, and did that for several months, both in person and online, and that really shifted me into seeing what yoga students were looking for when they came to a teacher training. And, there's a very certain type of group of people who come to teacher trainings. They're usually looking for certain things in their life, and just doing teacher training over and over and over again really helped me to see what that was. A lot of people were looking to deepen their practice, a lot of people looking to go beyond asana, a lot of people looking to build community with other yoga teachers, a lot of people looking to have a career change, a lot of people looking for like an adventure in their life because they've recently gone through some hardship, maybe a breakup or a divorce or change of job or loss of housing or something like that. So a lot of people would go to India to sort of find themselves, take that next step on their spiritual journey, develop their self-awareness, and obviously yoga is a huge catalyst for those things. Uh, and having gone on that journey myself, I resonated with that and I wanted to help people more. And I realized, though, that, going around and teaching yoga classes is amazing. Like, it's a fun thing to do and it's beautiful to see the change in people. The downside is, like, especially as a beginner yoga teacher, if you don't have a huge audience on social media, it's pretty tough to make teaching yoga more than a side gig. Let's say that. Because teaching classes just isn't sustainable. I've been there, like, I've done 4 to 6 classes per day, 5, 6 days a week for months, and I am very physically fit. And these were in very hot countries, and one of them was in Indonesia. It was hot yoga in Indonesia. So literally, like, outside would be like 36 plus 80-90% humidity, and the inside would be like 42, right? So blazing hot, and definitely get the detox going and stuff. But, like, I've just got this pretty good understanding of what a lot of teachers are looking for, and I've gone through that whole transition from, like, doing my own teacher training to group classes in the park to free classes at community centers to privates to studio classes to hosting workshops and special events to teaching teacher trainings to teaching new teachers. And essentially, what I realized is, like, I have a business background in my education. I studied business management and business technology management. I have a sales background, spent 6 years working at Apple in sales. And I noticed that essentially, yeah, like, being a yoga teacher is great if you're just roaming around and having fun. But ultimately, to get ahead and to build a life for yourself, you're going to need something that goes beyond um, group classes. I mean, that it just is what it is. Like, there's all kinds of incremental scale increases in yoga. So, for example, something that's better than classes would be a specialty workshop. And if you charge $200 for an all-day class or maybe a day and a half, and you get 10 people to come, let's keep it simple. 1 day workshop, $200, 10 people come. It's obviously $2,000. That's pretty good, right? The only downside is how many of those can you pull off? Can you do one every month? If so, great. That's great side money. If not, you need to come up with something else. Retreats are a great option as well. You can build even more leverage, and by leverage, I mean you can do the same amount of work but get an increased output in terms of the number of happy students and the amount of income that you make. That's great, but a retreat is usually a little bit of money, plus requires people to take more time off, and usually they have to travel somewhere. And so this requires a much higher level of trust. And as a new yoga teacher, starting out with something like that is definitely doable. Um, Takes a lot of confidence and a lot of courage to charge that much, pull that all together, manage the event, actually deliver, collect everything. Like it's a lot more than it looks. So that's definitely an option too. But again, you're gonna need multiple of those. If you say you charge $2,000 for a 1 week retreat and you make $500 per person who attends, and you have 10 people, then great. There's $5,000, right? So there are a lot of options like that. The only downside is like once you deliver the retreat, you need a whole new group of students, or you need to wait long enough for some of those existing students to have more money to come on to the next one. And both of those have their ups and downs. So, what I've observed is that as a yoga teacher, here's a few things I found yoga teachers want. Maybe you want this too. And if this sounds like you, then this video is definitely something to keep listening to. Um, you realize yoga is something you want to share with everyone. Okay, so this means like you're willing to make this a priority. Number two, you're unsatisfied with your current job and looking to make a lifestyle and career switch. Number three, you either want more scheduled time to be with family or do more things during the day that you want. Maybe you're happy where you're living, or you're looking to expand and potentially move somewhere else, and you want to help people. I'm going to say you want to make most of your money online, but you still want to connect with people in person, whether that's locally or you travel to meet a group of people somewhere else or back where you came from. So if you're in that space, then this is definitely for you, because what I've found is that I've done all the methods, right? And I've done the online stuff too. I started out with donation. When in my online yoga journey, I started out offering free Zoom classes 2 times per week. I promoted on social media. I got a bunch of people to come. Then I started introducing donations, and I got to a point where I made several $100s off of pure donations. And then I introduced some like online private packages. So I would sell like a month package for a set amount of money, and we would do a certain amount of classes per month. I've also got experience doing like a mini course. So the first time I did a mini course was a combination of a private Facebook group that had some tutorial videos in it. And then I also hosted, I think it was 6 live Zoom classes, and it was a set of yin classes, and we focused on doing yin to develop our splits practice. So that was my unique pitch for that. Made my first $1,000 offering that for $100 a pop, and then moved into premium online courses. And essentially, I also did have a Patreon, like a monthly subscription. So I didn't cultivate that very much. I think the highest I got was like $100 or $120 a month, just by posting videos on my Patreon. So I've like experimented in small little bits with all the different options available. I haven't sold an ebook, but that wouldn't be very hard for me to do now. But after the mini course and that kind of thing, then I moved into premium online courses, and I started combining multiple skills. I started, showing practical things to deliver for people and how to get yoga teachers set up and going with building an online business, and essentially teaching the core foundational skills. Copywriting, advertising, landing page design or website design, building webinars, building funnels, doing social media, video editing, identifying your niche, building perfect clients, or your avatar. What else? Building automations, creating unique offers. Like I put all of that in there and structure it in a way so that you can basically build these skills and have a course of your own, and share what your yoga transformation was, because ultimately whatever your yoga transformation was, like there's only a set number of things that can transform in people's lives. All right. You overcome disease or illness, you recover from injury, you overcome some emotional or mental hardship. Yoga dramatically improves the state of your life, or it helps you to physically build your body, or some kind of combination of these, and develops your spiritual practice. Like these are the sort of main underlying components that for most people if they have a yoga transformation, it usually bubbles down to one of those things. So when you're thinking about those, a course should help people make that transformation, right? And here's the delicate balance we want to find. We don't want to have just course videos and no engagement and no community, right? That's not what we want, because we want to be involved in people's transformation and support them on their journey. But we also don't want to be in the state of like group classes. A group class is like you get paid for the group class. Once the class is done, you have to recover. You have to prepare for the next one. You have to recruit people to come to the next one. And you just go through this cycle of like what you put out is equal to what you get, instead of what you put out returning more than what you put out. Right? So let me give you an example. Let's say that there's two yoga teachers. One yoga teacher makes 5 posts and says, "Hey, my group class on Friday is $5. Here's the link, sign up." 10 people sign up and that person makes $50. Okay, wonderful. And then the next week they do the same thing and they make $50 again and again and again. Great. So you're making $200 a month, right? Or $50 a week, let's say. But if the second yoga teacher spends time and says, "Hey, I'm going to teach people how to do this certain pose," or "I'm going to show them how to connect with their cycle," or "I'm going to show them how to, lose 10 pounds," or some goal, right? And even if it's a mini course, right? And they sell the mini course for just $50, right? You make 5 posts and you get 2 people who sign up, you make $100. So you deliver more value, right? And by making a mini course or a course of some kind, and then you make the same number of posts, but because the course offers more value, you can sell it for a higher price, especially because people get to keep the videos. And then because the course has been made, you can now continue to sell it over and over and over again. You don't have to deliver the class every week. You just have to make the 5 posts. And say, for example, you do one group call or something like that. Like that could be the equivalent. And I'm jumping a bit ahead here, but $50 class, I wouldn't include a weekly group call. But $50, you get 5 videos on how to do this thing, or 10 videos even, and you can just sell that mini course over and over and over again. The teacher who takes that approach will be able to make more money and therefore have more free time and therefore be able to do more of the things they want in their life. So here's the trick. We don't want to have just a video only course, right? I gave that example just to keep it simple and to prove the concept of scale. What we want is to have a video course that explains all the theory and all the explanations. It provides tutorials for what you would teach every single person who came in. Okay? And then you offer, this is where the hybrid, this is the unique value part comes in that allows you to sell your course for significantly more, is you combine extra pieces to deliver community, live support, and a way to help students build their skills, right? So you need those 3 extra pieces: community, live support, building skills, and a way to measure that. So in terms of community, you offer a Facebook group that is a space dedicated for students who take the course, and they can discuss certain topics relevant to the course. There's a great one. Live support, you offer a regular Zoom call. Maybe it's once a month or once every 2 weeks or once a week. Only go once a week if you're offering a much more premium course, right? Because it's more access to you, you're providing more live support. And really, the live support should only be to answer questions that students have about the video content. That's what it's there for, as well as helping them address blockages in the mindset or emotionally that come up as they're going through the actions. Okay, so that's what live support is for. And then finally, the third piece is tracking and building skills. So usually this is done in the form of homework. There will be certain criteria that they need to do to demonstrate they have made a change over time, and then they will record those changes and then send it into you for evaluation. So let's say, for example, you are helping people lose weight. They might measure their weight at the beginning of your course. They might be responsible for measuring their weight every 3 days or once a week and putting that in some kind of document or filling out a form. And then you would track those results over time and say, hey, yeah, you did it. You lost 5 pounds or 3 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever it is. And that would show them that they have made that transition, right? So these three components are extra value add-ons besides the recorded videos that explain step by step what to do, right? So the recorded videos in the instance of losing weight might be an explanation of how the body adds weight and removes weight. There might be specific yoga classes in there that are focusing on losing weight. And then there might be some extra, fitness drills that focus on that as well. And then there might be some motivational content in there as well, right? And then your support on the side. So these all kind of come together and they help you to deliver a transformation in people's lives at a premium price that they are happy to pay because it delivers results that they want without doing it alone, without spending a long time doing it and trial and error. And they're doing it with someone else's method that has already been proven successful. So people are happy to pay for those things. And like with all of this combined, now you have something that you're connecting with people, you're helping them make changes, you're also giving yourself freedom, you're also leveraging your income in that you make something that lasts and can be sold over and over again. But simultaneously, if you offer a fixed number of calls per week or every 2 weeks or every month, no matter how many students you sign up, your workload stays the same. Because if you have 10 students who sign up and they all come to your weekly group call, no matter how many students you sign up, they all come to the weekly group call. That's the only one you offer. And so your income goes up, but your workload stays the same, right? But if you're a yoga teacher who just offers group classes or weekend events, no matter, like, you have to work every time to make that income. And the reason why I'm stressing this so much is because as a yoga teacher, it's not physically possible to spend your body and health and energy to make that money. You cannot carry your job mindset into the yoga world. It won't work. It won't transition because you are 100% relying on doing things physically for the most part until you get to the point of teacher training and demonstrating theory and that kind of content. But even still, you still have to go and teach that class. And then once you're done, that's it. It's done. Unless you own the teacher training, then it's different. So if you're a yoga teacher and this made sense and you're feeling like, hey, I've been out of teacher training, maybe it was really recently, maybe it's been a little while and you've been trying all the options I talked about, classes, community centers, privates, weekend events, trying to do retreats, trying to do a Patreon subscription of some kind or a membership, trying to post videos on YouTube, and you're finding it's a struggle and a lot of work for a little money back, it's because it is. Simple as that. It's great to have all those things, right? But I'd say, like, you went through a transformation, sell that transformation to other people who are looking to make that transformation faster than what you did. Because it probably took you a few years and a lot more money than you think. And you can sell your course for cheaper than it would cost people to go and spend that money and figure it all out by themselves. So that's what you're helping people to do. And that's why it's okay to charge more money for a course, because the people who need that course, if your course is $1,000, but you're showing them how to do stuff that would otherwise cost them $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000 to learn on their own and maybe take several years, you're saving them a bunch of money. You're helping them out a lot. So hopefully you can use this to, see teaching yoga as a way to sustain yourself in a new light. And if it's something that resonates with you, then, depending on where you're watching this, there's a link either in the comment down below or link in bio. And that link will take you to a free webinar. In that webinar, it's half an hour. You will learn more about the principles and the mindset shifts that need to be made to go through this transition from figuring out how to sustain yourself financially and have the freedom that you want and do this as a lifestyle as a yoga teacher, to actually being able to do that, right? There are core concepts and mindset shifts that need to happen. And this webinar will show you how to do that. And, if you want to talk about that or look at your options afterward, then we can jump on a call. So click the link in the bio or the comment down below and join for the free webinar, and I'll see you inside that. Take care.